Alright, we're going to do a tutorial for Train Simulator 2021 on when you have your consist or your little train sets with their drivers. How do you get a train to come riding through? My recommendation when you're replacing a train that's going to come through a map, basically you're turning it into like a train board in a sense, train simulator board. So you basically make it consist and you say, hey, go from here to here. Victorville, California. I got all my Dash 9s ready to go. You can see all my drivers on the locomotives and stuff ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I want to basically make a train come riding through here, so that way, it's like you're kind of like setting up a scenario, but you're not. You're kind of like setting up a train board in a sense. You're like, hey, this train, technically, if you wanted to, you could connect the tracks together and tell it, hey, go when you get here, go back over here. But to me, no, it's just getting another train, from go to point A to point B, and I wanted to show people how to do that here in Train Simulator. Just be careful when you switch into it. If you did have a driver on it, if you have a driver dude on it or a driver on it, be careful, because like I said, as soon as you switch out, the train will stop right where it's at. Well, it'll ride a little and then it'll stop. So anywho, let me go ahead and get the consist put in here of the other train. I'm just going to have it come through here. Oh, and then on top of it, make sure that when you place the train, it's not going to obstruct. It's not going to be. In other words, it's going to follow the flow of traffic through there. In other words, follow the arrow flow. In other words, don't put the train backwards on another line and tell it, hey, go. You could, but just be careful. But when you're running a train from point A to point B, it's just make sure there's no, it's on a rail that's already green, because that way it'll go, and as soon as it's gone past you, the switches should, in theory, let you get past. And that's what I'm going to show you here with this, the scenario, or I should say, free roam scenario set up for kind of like a train board action. So we'll be back in a second. Alright, this part right here, you can see all the trains set up on all the consist. As far as I hadn't set up the one getting ready to come inbound, I just wanted to kind of give you a quick overview. This is the consist that I put in, loaded this all up, got everybody there. You can see all the drivers and all the locomotives right here, all the Dash 9. This is where I do a lot of my testing. And we're just going to have a train come through. Basically, we'll just set up just a random train, small little consist. We're going to have it basically come in from this direction into Victorville, come from it, through the area. Just give it just general traffic. It shouldn't interfere with us, but it'll give people just kind of like a general idea of how to play something and say, hey, go from here to here, because with the setting up of the hey, go to here part, that's the fun part. That's where things get tricky. So anywho, like I said, we'll be back in a second. Alright, one quick part. When placing your consist, make sure that you don't, if you're going to have it running around, make sure it's not going to be running into yellows and reds, otherwise it's going to have a hard time trying to get anything done. So here we are sitting in the yard with all of our stuff, okay, and we're going to place a train that's going to come through here, through Victorville, right up here. So basically, on the north end of Victorville, we're going to set up a train to basically come down, and you can see we've got green lights all the way through. In other words, the two mains have greens. So that's why I generally try to place something it's in the green area, so that way it has no problem moving them around. Just a side note, because I've accidentally put something on a yellow and the train wouldn't move, and it got strange. And you can change the switches in here, but I try not to from their default too much, because it gets weird. Like I said, their switches get really strange. But you can see we've got two main greens right here coming in, so I'm going to put the train just to the north of this and then have it come to the south. So like I said, when you're placing, try to place on the greens generally. Alright, this is where things get tricky, because as I just realized, you have to have a driver in the locomotive. Just be careful not to click on it, because if you click on it, it'll intercept what it's doing. So yeah, you have to have a driver on it. And I just want to have, this one here has the name Service 1. You can see where I'm going to show you on the map where it's placed. And to get it to move or go somewhere, you have to click Set Destination. and then give it a click on a marker, and that's the part I'm going to come back here and show you how to do it's tricky. Like I said, it's tricky. I mean, like I said, I'm doing this in 2021. That's why I'm doing this setup. And no, you have to have the driver in it. So mine's named Service One. What sets up the location is the orange arrow pointing to the blue box. This will basically tell this locomotive where to go. And you can double click to get to it, on it. And you can see here on the map, I've got this one on the upper end. So here's our load, or just our two little helpers, and we're just gonna basically have them come bring like a 5 or 6 car load down, and go past. We'll just tell it, hey, just go, just bring it some place where it can be parked and not, be a nuisance. That's what I try to do. Is I try to tell them, hey, try to take that locomotive far enough down the map where it's not going to have any issues. So, but you can see on the map that they're just to the north of our trains. Ours are down here on the south. All of our -9s. So we're going to watch this one come through from where we're at once this is all set up. And 9 to get into this map, press 9 to get in, and to get out, just right click. So when you're in the builder, right click to get out anywhere. Trust me, if you know any special tricks on it, you let me know. But this is how I safely have gotten around this. And like I said, I've got my 2 little locomotives here, ready to kick butt. And we'll be back in a few. Like I said, you gotta have the driver. Just be careful not to click on the locomotive, because weird things will happen. But we'll sit and watch it go by, you know what I'm saying? So anywho, back in a sec. Alright, so when you see me do that, I'm tabbing over so that I can resume the video on recording. So now we're set up, so it's ready to go. As you can see right here, it says, hey, this train's going to go to Frost High Track. And you're like, well, how do you get it to do that? Once you click on the orange and blue box right here, I'll do it again just to show you. Okay, once you do that, then you're gonna have to say, hey, you're gonna have to click on a map marker, an special one, or just a special map marker, and that way it'll tell the locomotive, hey, this is where I'm gonna go. So once you've triggered that, once you've clicked on it to set destination, okay, you're gonna have to move around the map. So I'm gonna rapidly move to the marker that I'm going to have this train move to. So enjoy the ride. And just so you know, it's these little brown markers of these are what you click on that will fill in that little blank. So when you click on this, that'll tell the locomotive, hey, this is where I'm going, but we're not going here. Alright, so this is the closest marker we could find right here. And it's already been highlighted, Frost High Track. So I already know. So I click on this marker, it'll put it right up in this little thing. So once I tell that, you click right here on the orange blue box, and then you click on this little marker right here, the train will come to this point at that point in time. So this train is ready to go as far as it should travel by when we go to tell it to, we're going to automate it. In other words, when we hit play on this one free roam scenario, that locomotive should, with its stuff, will come bumping through. And I'll also add a few little rail cars to it right now before I have it come moving through. So, but that's how you click on it. So once it says the marker's name's up in this, right up in this little area, in this box, the train will then proceed to that point. So on the map. So it's a good way down. You may have to travel fast. To travel fast, you just use your arrow key and the shift. So hold down the shift key. The shift key will let you move through the map very quickly. So when I resume, we should be at the point where we'll have a train getting ready to drive itself to this marker right here. So we'll be back in a few. Alright, at this point in time, the consist is ready. So when we hit play, this train should drive itself down the map, past us, past our dash nines, and continue on to that junction point. So at that point, we can verify this just by double clicking on our driver dude right here. Like I said, be careful when clicking on these not to transfer over to them. Once this thing, you hit play and you're active, try not to click on this and get into it, because like I said, weird things will happen. So you double click and it says, hey, it's good, it's got a name, Service 1. It is a Service 1. It's got 4 cars, small little loadout, special, and then like I said, it should kick off and go as soon as we load in. So we'll be back in a few. I just wanted to come here and just show you a quick little loadout with it. Nothing fancy. And off the train should go once we go. Here we go. And off it goes. So there goes the train. The train is now taking off, going by our consist. We're going to follow it along here. So, like I said, just to make sure it's working like it's supposed to. So, but it's driving itself. Like I said, make sure not to click. So when that hand icon comes up, don't click. We'll pretend we're some little train hopper here. We'll be watching when we come by. How's that? So that train is driving itself with its consist to that waypoint, to that map point. So in theory, we should have a train come cruising by. So, but like I said, you can't do honk horns and flash and stuff of that nature. It's all computer controlled by itself. You can actually watch it, if I remember right, just by clicking on it. Here comes the service train right here. Ta-da! So here comes the train. So that's basically how you set up a train with a driver to go to a point, tell it, hey, this is how I want to go. You just have to go and click on those icons. So in other words, you hit that orange to blue, orange arrow to blue box, and then find a map icon and click on it, and then you can go. You can add them. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? I've always just taken and used what's there. Honk honk. Pretty cool, huh? And that train will go all the way to that point, and it'll stop. It'll wait until further instructions. In other words, you can give it further instructions, in automation through the scenario editing and stuff of that nature. This is just a simple, hey, how do I get that train to go from here to there? And like I said, it was a pain in the butt for me to find out, so that's why I'm making this video for other people. So hopefully, like I said, if you have any questions on how to get a train to move around, and we'll get into triggers and other stuff of that stuff and other nature for the scenario stuff later on, but that just kind of gives the free roam scenario a little bit of life. That train, is off on its own. I like, you can always put like 4 or 5 of them behind each other and have them come through, which is pretty cool. But if you want to know how it's done, you just saw. Build a consist, put a driver in, then tell it, hey, this is the waypoint I want you to go. And then you can actually tell them all the same waypoint, and they will go consecutively to that point, and they will stop and they'll wait. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, like I said, go watch the Red Green Show. Train simulator scenario set up just for, or I should say free roam scenario set up just for a train to move around. And you can see our service train is going to keep going all the way to that point. So anywho, Red Green Show, and if you have any other questions on train simulators, editor, builder stuff for 2021, let me know. I'm pretty good with it. I've been around it a very long time. And I forgot you have to have the driver in the train. I'm thinking old school stuff from like trains and stuff, because I do trains and I do train simulator both. So other than that, peace out, much love, and you gotta love them trains, right? Hey, BNSF, I love watching 1919 sit there on US 60. Much love, beautiful to stare at. So anyways, that's my little shout out to Burlington Northern Santa Fe, 1919. Y'all have a wonderful day.